some of the game cuisines of Rajasthan. This is actually a working paper. I'm still looking for primary sources to cite in the paper, but this opportunity came and I decided to present some excerpts of the paper. So, Rajasthan has had a rich spread of culinary dishes, which is a legacy of the natural terrain as well as the influx of diverse ethnic groups, both native and foreign, to the Indian subcontinent and made the region their home and introduced and improvised the local dishes. In addition, most of these cuisines and culinary traditions are based on the locally found flora and fauna and suffice the nutritive requirements of the natives, along with maintaining the ecological balance in the region. The food culture of the state can be broadly categorized into three baskets belonging to the three corresponding classes, constituting the social fabric of the region, that is, the kings, merchants, and the marginalized. The dishes are basically vegetarian, but the availability of wildlife in the forest covers of especially southeastern Rajasthan has induced a lot of game cuisine also in the food palette of Rajasthan. The topmost place in the social hierarchy belongs to the ruling elite, who termed themselves as Rajputs. These traditional meat eaters were the unchallengeable masters of the forest, sheathing the length and breadth of their respective kingdoms, and quite often indulged in wildlife hunting for recreation as well as forging political alliances and treaties. The culture of hunting among the Rajputs came more in vogue after the Mughal Rajput alliance that brought peace among the warring clans who used the opportunity to observe and interact with the populations inhabiting the hinterlands. Many had built special hunting lodges called shikarga in the forest, thriving with wild boar, venison, rabbit, quail, partridge, and water birds. The game hunted during such expeditions was dressed and cooked by the retinue accompanying the nobility. There were special cooks to prepare the game and specific recipe to be followed. The recipe was in keeping with the limited resources at hand in the tough terrain of the forest and had sparse use of condiments. Lal mas is one such preparation crystallized during the hunting expeditions of the Mewar royalty. Cooked on slow flame with garlic and yogurt, the dish is a must-have for the foreign tourists visiting present-day Rajasthan. The Mathania chilies not only render the insignia red to the dish, but in its piquancy douses the raw odor of the game as well. Quite similar to is the jungli mas, a game cuisine from the house of Samur, one of the noble houses of Rajasthan that uses only 5 ingredients, including the Mathania variant, but with a pinch of paleness with regard to the tint of the preparation. Khad khargosh is another game cuisine which involves marinating the rabbit, wrapping it with dough, packing it in a gunny bag, and burying it in a pit covered with charcoal fire and mud. The slow cooking retains the flavor and tenders the meat. The Rajput pit cooking was adapted by the Mughals into the dum pukht technique specially used for mutton biryani, the staple meal of rice and mutton served to the Mughal soldiers during warfare. Even the murg zamidos, an important dish of the Mughal dastarkhan, involves pit cooking and owes its origin to the Mughal Rajput matrimonial alliances. Wild boar was another favorite of the royalty and was specially raised in the nearby forest for the purpose. Mewar courtly paintings of 18th and early 19th centuries are replete with hunting scenes, and so are the complaints of the local farmers whose fields were ravaged by these marauders who often compared, albeit in dress tones, the of the nobility with the wild animals bred for the hunt. The fat portion of the wild boar was used to prepare pickles like sant ro achar or curries named suwarri sant. The native cuisine has also evolved numerous variations that represent the influx of cultural traditions of the inhabitants of parts of the Indian continent as well, especially the Kashmiri saffron used in kesar murg, a delicacy prepared with cashew and cream, and a legacy of all the Kashmiri Pandits who served as prime ministers to the royal houses of Rajputana, especially Jodhpur. Not all meat-based preparations were game cuisine, as is evident from the Rajasthani sula or suda made from the hind leg of the goat and turned tender on the skewers through locally grown and pulverized wild cucumber called khachari. In addition to the socio-cultural legacy that contributed towards the evolution of these game cuisine, there were certain unwritten rules pertaining to the choice of game and the season when it should be obtained. Firstly, only the male of the prospective game was hunted. Females and young ones were spared. Secondly, during the breeding months, fishing and hunting game birds were locally prohibited. This included the hunting prohibition of terrestrial animals as well. Such considerations not only brought balance in the food cycle and the animal population, but also saved the human body from being afflicted with waterborne diseases, as many a times the game could also be sick and contaminated during the rainy season. Yes.
Thank you, madam. Very good paper yours. And you have got quick money on
No, but
please go. Very good.
इसके इस पेपर के सोर्सेस क्या क्या है?
Sir, I'm still working on the sources because now this thing about food, that is why it is still in its working stage. Though I refer to the kitchen records of Jaipur Riyasat, and so there is mention of kesar being brought in, and so like, there is problem with the primary sources.
राजघराने ने भी कुछ सोर्सेस दिए हमने
Their records, the soda records.
थोड़ा रिकॉर्ड्स from this.
Yes, I have one reference of that. Yes.
Thank you, madam. But Sri Dharamjit ji, the request है कि आए